I heard about the ball game last night. 121 to 14. Must be pretty near a record. Been around that trashy behavior all my life. I'm getting tired of putting up with it. I reckon the reason why I always drag you out here is probably I'm just as sentimental as the next fella when it comes to old times. Old times.
Westerns that ain't westerns. Clarifying abstract concepts like genres can be hard to define. Rather than arguing amongst ourselves over what exactly a western is, IMDb has provided us with their official definition. Here is the definition of western. Contains scenes and/or a narrative that portrays frontier life in the American West during the 1600s to contemporary times. The criteria for being a western is based on time and place, the American West in the frontier era. This is easy enough to apply to things like The Searchers, 1956, or Gunsmoke, 1957 to 1975, titles that fit neatly within those parameters. But what about those westerns that meet some, but not all, of the criteria? What about media that vaguely or kinda meet the definition? None in this video is officially recognised as a western by IMDb. However, they have significant connection to the genre. Which of these do you think is the best example of a western that's not a western? If you like this video, look at my channel for more. The link is in the description. Let me know your thoughts in the comments. Don't forget to share with your friends. Subscribe and like. You know the drill. The General, 1926. Directors Clyde Brookman, Buster Keaton. After being rejected by the Confederate military, not realizing it was due to his crucial civilian role, an engineer must single-handedly recapture his beloved locomotive after it is seized by Union spies and return it through enemy lines. Buster Keaton wanted to use the real locomotive, General, which was in the Nashville, Chattanooga, and St. Louis Union Depot in Chattanooga, Tennessee. The railroad initially permitted him to do so, even providing him with a branch line to film on. However, when it became known that the film was to be a comedy, the railroad withdrew permission and Keaton had to look elsewhere. Cast: Buster Keaton, Marion Mack, Glenn Cavender. The Grapes of Wrath, 1940. Director John Ford. An Oklahoma family, driven off their farm by the poverty and hopelessness of the Dust Bowl, joins the westward migration to California, suffering the misfortunes of the homeless in the Great Depression. Prior to filming, producer Darrell F. Zanuck sent undercover investigators out to the migrant camps to see if John Steinberg had exaggerated about the squalor and unfair treatment meted out there. He was horrified to discover that Steinbeck had actually downplayed what went on in the camps. Cast: Henry Fonda, Jane Darwell, John Carradine. Midnight Cowboy, 1969. Director John Schlesinger. A naive hustler travels from Texas to New York City to seek personal fortune, finding a new friend in the process. Dustin Hoffman kept pebbles in his shoes to ensure his limp would be consistent from shot to shot. Jon Voight was paid scale, or the Screen Actors Guild minimum wage, for his portrayal as Joe Buck, a concession he willingly made to obtain the part. Cast: Dustin Hoffman, Jon Voight, Sylvia Miles.
Service, I charge $20. I happen to be his manager.
Okay.
I'll buy you his coffee,
The Last Picture Show, 1971. Director Peter Bogdanovich. In 1951, a group of high schoolers came of age in a bleak, isolated, atrophied North Texas town that is slowly dying, both culturally and economically. At 9 minutes and 54 seconds, Ben Johnson's performance in this movie is the shortest ever to win an Academy Award for Best Supporting Actor. Jeff Bridges, Timothy Bottoms, Ellen Burstyn, Cloris Leachman, Sybil Shepherd, and Ben Johnson in The Last Picture Show.
I reckon the reason why I always drag drag you out here is probably I'm just as sentimental as the next fella when it comes to old times. Old times.
The Last of the Mohicans, 1992, director Michael Mann. Three trappers protect the daughters of a British colonel in the midst of the French and Indian War. Many long nights were spent filming the siege scenes. Loudspeakers were installed around the battlefield and fort, so directions could easily be given to the hundreds of cast and crew. One night, after many long hours, Mann shouted over the speakers, "What's that orange light? Turn out that orange light." After a pause, another voice came over the speakers saying, "That's the sun, Michael." Cast: Daniel Day-Lewis, Madeline Stowe, Russell Means. Shortcuts, 1993. I'm really not sure why this movie is included. Director Robert Altman. The day-to-day lives of several suburban Los Angeles residents. In an interview, Julianne Moore revealed that Robert Altman warned her that the role of Marianne Wyman had a lengthy monologue while bottomless, and that her shirt wouldn't cover anything below her waist, so both sides of her would be visible most of the time as she walked around. The actress said she not only agreed to take the role on the spot, but also told Altman that she had a bonus for him. "I really am a redhead." Cast: Andy McDowell, Julianne Moore, Tim Robbins. Fear and Loathing in Las Vegas, 1998. Director Terry Gilliam. An oddball journalist and his psychopathic lawyer travel to Las Vegas for a series of psychedelic escapades. Hunter S. Thompson shaved Johnny Depp's head. They were in Thompson's kitchen. Depp refused to look in a mirror, and Thompson wore a miner's hard hat. Terry Gilliam took over as director after Alex Cox left the picture due to creative differences. Gilliam rewrote the entire screenplay in a few days to fit his unique creative vision and style, while staying true to Hunter S. Thompson's writings. Cast: Johnny Depp, Benicio del Toro, Tobey Maguire.
Lucy paints portraits of Barbara Streisand.
God bless.
Brokeback Mountain, 2005, director Ang Lee. Ennis and Jack are two shepherds who develop a sexual and emotional relationship. Their relationship becomes complicated when both of them get married to their respective girlfriends. When asked if he had any fears about playing a gay man, Heath Ledger replied that he was not afraid of the role, only that he wasn't mature enough to do it justice. Heath Ledger and Michelle Williams met and fell in love on the set of this film. She gave birth to their daughter, Matilda Ledger, shortly before the film premiered. However, they broke up in the fall of 2007. Cast: Jake Gyllenhaal, Heath Ledger, Michelle Williams.
You don't know nothing about it.
I wish I knew how to quit you.
There Will Be Blood, 2007, director Paul Thomas Anderson. A story of family, religion, hatred, oil, and madness, focusing on a turn-of-the-century prospector in the early days of the business. While on location in Marfa, Texas, No Country for Old Men, 2007, was the neighbouring film production. One day, Paul Thomas Anderson and his crew tested the pyrotechnical effects of the oil derrick fire, causing an enormous billowing of smoke, intruding on the shot that Joel Coen and Ethan Coen were shooting. This caused them to delay filming until the next day, when the smoke dissipated. Both this film and No Country for Old Men, 2007, would eventually become the leading contenders at the Academy Awards a year and a half later. Cast: Daniel Day-Lewis, Paul Dano, Ciaran Hinds.
Comes to the showdown, they won't be there.
No Country for Old Men, 2007, director Ethan Coen, Joel Coen. Violence and mayhem ensue after a hunter stumbles upon the aftermath of a drug deal gone wrong and over $2 million in cash near the Rio Grande. According to a January 2018 article in Business Insider, a group of psychiatrists studied 400 movies and identified 126 psychopathic characters. They chose Javier Bardem's portrayal of Anton Chigurh as the most clinically accurate portrayal of a psychopath. Cast Tommy Lee Jones, Xavier Bardem, Josh Brolin. I appreciate your likes and subscribers. Don't forget to hit the notification bell to get my new videos. Share with your friends. Drop me your comments. I am Wrangler. Bye for now. See you again soon.
God.
Interesting facts about famous people.